This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, let's go ahead and start introducing ourselves. My name is Kim. I have relapsing and remitting. I live in Des Moines, Iowa. I am currently on Ocrevus, and I was diagnosed in 2012. Jennifer, you are up.
Okay, I'm Jennifer. I have secondary progressive MS. I'm on Ocrevus. No, I'm on Rituxan, and I live in Michigan.
Welcome. Okay,
Thank you.
Jen, and did you need time tonight, Jen? Jen Digman, did you need time tonight to talk?
Oh, see, there are two Jennifers. I
I know.
apologize, Jennifer.
You're fantastic.
No time.
Okay,
I'll
next.
just chime in.
Okay, next, Jen. You go ahead and introduce yourself.
Okay, I have relapse remitting. I was diagnosed in 2019 of April. I live in Richmond, Indiana, and I take a Baju.
Excellent. Frank, go ahead. Oh, did you need time tonight, Jennifer?
Just a little bit. Just a little bit.
All right, Jennifer, yes. Okay, Frank, go ahead and introduce yourself.
I'm Frank Austin. I'm from Plainville, Kansas. I have secondary progressive MS. I was diagnosed in 1997, and I'm not on anything.
Did you need time?
I don't need any time at all.
Okay, John, go ahead.
Hi, I'm John. I was diagnosed with relapse and remitting in 2016, and I am on Zeposia, and I wish I was on Frank's Sunshine, because some Sunshine sounds really, really good right now. And I will need just my usual couple minutes. So.
Okay.
Thank you.
Excellent. Louie, you're up.
All right, so I always do this. Louis, I'm from San Antonio, Texas. I'm on Ocrevus and have relapsed and remitting MS. And my house flooded, so my room doesn't look very good. So I go in without the camera today.
We don't care. Did you need time tonight, Louis?
No, I'm all good.
Okay, Tiffany, you're up.
Hi, I'm Tiffany. I have relapsing remitting, diagnosed October of last year. I'm on Copaxone. I don't need time tonight.
Okay, thank you, Tiffany. Amanda, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, everyone. I'm Amanda. I am living right outside of Charlottesville, Virginia. I have relapsing remitting MS, and I am on Kesimpta. And I was diagnosed in June 2019.
And I know you said you needed time tonight, so I got you down, girl. And Karen, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Karen. I'm not going to stick around. I just came to say hello. I've got to go to a memorial in a little bit. And I have primary progressive or non-relapsing progressive MS, and it's progressing, and I'm not on any medication.
Okay. All right, that is good. So my first announcement is that Amanda, go ahead and show us your amazing face, Amanda. Give congratulations to Amanda. She is now a moderator, so now I can have someone to give a hard time to, not feel bad about it. So welcome, Amanda. So
Thank you.
If you need anything, ask her.
We'll see how I do.
Amanda, I need a new car.
Me too, John. Me too.
Oh, okay.
We can work on it together. Yeah.
So
you picked on the wrong. You picked on the John. You picked on the wrong moderator. The Digmans The Digman's just got a new car. They know about how to get new cars. That's the moderator you should have picked on.
Oh man, and they only live an hour away from me, so.
Missed
Hey,
opportunity.
Jennifer, before I forget, we need to go to a Loons game sometime this summer if we can. I read your lips and said, okay.
You're muted, love. You're muted, Jen.
She said, just 1 second.
Okay.
After being a middle school teacher for a while, I read lips. I can always send you a message on Facebook or call you tomorrow.
And I'll just tell Amanda whilst we're waiting for Jen. Amanda, I was in your area for about 24 hours. I had to deliver a eulogy in Richmond on Friday night. So I got in because the airline screwed me up. So I had to sleep in Charlotte Airport. So I got in early Friday morning and I left at 7 o'clock on Saturday morning. But I wasn't far from you. I was 100 miles. How far is it from Charlotte from Charlottesville to Richmond?
I'm not good with miles, but it's from where I live, it's about an hour away.
An hour.
So I guess what, like 60 miles, right? That's how it works. Well, thanks for thinking of me, and I'm sorry regarding whoever passed.
He was one of our advisory board members, and he was fantastic. So.
Okay, so where there's a will, there's a way. I'm unmuted. John, we'll go see a baseball game. Rick? No, Dan and I got a new van. Our van was considered not roadworthy, so we kind of didn't have a choice. So if you ever are looking for a modified van and you have questions, hit me up.
Okay, we had a couple people enter the chat. Christy, go ahead and introduce yourself.
Hi, I am Christy from Brighton, Colorado, which is a suburb of Denver. I was diagnosed in 2003. I am currently on Ocrevus, and I went and saw my new neurologist today, and I have been classified as active secondary progressive. And then also she's talking about she might be changing me from Ocrevus to Tysabri? Yeah, so there's a lot of moving parts right now and what's going on. So I've just got too much going on. So she's going between Tysabri and Kesimpta. So we will see. But that's
Do you
it
need
for
time
now.
tonight?
Probably.
Okay, I'll put
But
you
I'm
down.
not sure.
Sounds like you have a lot of stuff to talk about.
Yeah.
Okay, Carmen from Canada. Introduce yourself.
Hi. Well, clearly I'm from Canada.
Whereabouts?
I'm in British Columbia, so I live in Kelowna, British Columbia. I don't know if anybody's ever been up here, but it's a beautiful area on a long lake with mountains nearby, and so there's skiing and swimming and boating and summer activities. And in fact, it's been about 32, 33 degrees here this last couple days. So anyway, I was diagnosed in 2014. I have primary progressive MS. And actually, I would like some time tonight because I've just gone through having a total knee replacement. I'm actually here in my little nest of recovery zone. And I was hoping that my partner would be able to make it tonight, but he wasn't able to. just the struggles of caretakers and your partner.
You were here like a month or so ago, correct?
I was once.
Talking about the knee replacement, like, yeah, I saw your face. I'm like, you look familiar.
Yes, yes.
Okay, welcome back.
Thank you, thank you.
Okay, we will start with Jennifer. What did you want to discuss tonight?
Oh, that's me. Okay. Okay, so I had my first EMG and that hurt, John. It hurt. That So I have neuropathy and carpal tunnel, and some kind of carpal tunnel in this elbow right here.
I'm really sorry that it hurt more than I tried to describe.
I tolerated it, but
Yeah.
man,
Yeah.
then they start sticking you with the needles. I thought I was done with the electrocution.
I swear to God, my neurologist put one of those needles under like my big toenail. Like that's just how it felt. Like you're doing so much, you just.
It hurt.
Yeah,
I'm not.
Is that the same thing as a nerve test or different?
What is it?
Is it the same thing as a nerve test or is it
Yeah.
a little bit? Okay, yeah, those hurt.
Yeah. Yeah. Where were you, Amanda, when I was saying this about you weren't there last time?
I'm sorry, I wasn't there. I'm sorry.
Well,
But-
maybe it just feels different in the legs, but I can say mine did not hurt. So that's why I was saying.
And then like he stuck the needles in there and I was like, mother.
Trucker.
I call it the Tourette's machine because I was going holy hell fuck real quick. So, but on a brighter note, I started walking again and drinking my water, and I walked about 1.5 miles 2 days in a row.
Nice.
Yeah.
So, no tonight though. I can't. But that's all I got.
But when they were done with the EMG test, it didn't hurt. It was just when they were doing it, right?
No,
You
it
didn't have
still
any-
hurt after.
How long?
I was still in pain.
Really?
I don't know what it just. I don't know.
Jeez,
But I still cough, and when I sneeze, I still get the electric shocks, and I don't know. He hasn't gone into that yet, but we'll see.
John, what did you want to discuss tonight?
Oh, I got the mail yesterday. Opened the door by myself, got my wheelchair out on the ramp, took the ramp down into the driveway, went down the driveway, and the only place I got stuck, and another project for this summer is we have a lot of gravel on the edge of our driveway into the street. So like spinning tires, people that use chairs, that was the only thing that didn't work, but luckily my wife Melissa was with me. That and those of you that have had, well, I guess it could be, sorry. How do you deal with pooping on the floor mentally and emotionally? Like you get up to go to the bathroom and you're 2 steps there and then there goes the carpet.
You cry.
Yeah. I've been doing that all day. And of course saying, wow, this is a shitty situation.
No pun intended.
Oh, pun fully intended.
Pun intended.
Intended.
Right.
Because that's how I deal with stuff. But just crying about it and just working your way through. It was too early in the day for a diaper. Like I had just gotten out of the bathroom, sat down on the couch, just finished eating my breakfast, stood up, grabbed my walker, and boom. Yeah.
John, I was gonna say it depends.
I didn't have those on yet for the day, but thank you. And let's talk about depends for a minute. You look at children's diapers, and they have Tinkerbell and fun little animals on the front, but we get white.
Make it
That's,
happen, John. Make it
that's
happen.
BS.
I
You
just
can
want
put your own
black. I don't
stickers on there,
care.
John. There's no one
I do,
stopping you from putting your own stickers on.
I do have a lot of dinosaur stickers.
Shark
So
Tank
that,
idea. I love that, Amanda.
yeah.
I was gonna tell you, John, the first time I had an accident, I was laying on my couch. This was like 2016, and I suddenly felt this warmness in my pants, and I had no clue if it came number 1 or number 2. I had no clue, and it just came out like no warning whatsoever. And it being number 2, but it was just that was really hard for me because let's see, so I was in my mid 30s and going, I have and that was very open. People were like, I have shit my pants without like having any, and I just had to keep a sense of humor. And there are some times I usually don't have to, a diaper is not usually something I have to do, but I have in the past. If I felt like I was in a place that I needed one, I'd be like, yo, can someone get me a diaper? I kind of want it where you can use, and this is a little TMI for I guess guys, but I kind of want the diaper thing to be like women's feminine hygiene products, where I can just go to customer service or something, and go, yo, do you got like an extra diaper for me? Like, yeah, here you go, and like no biggie, no one cares. I would just love it for life to be that way.
Because, I mean, I'm that guy to just go right up and be like, listen, I pooped. I need a diaper. Ta-da. But yeah, I'm just adjusting to that in my life more and more. The pee thing, that I've gotten past that. That's just a thing. But yeah, I do diapers sometimes.
Mhm.
I didn't. That was a doo-doo pun, everyone.
I caught that one.
I got it.
Yeah.
I was
yeah,
slow. I was slow, John, on that
yeah.
one. I have to admit.
No, Kim, it's okay. I saw Carmen from Canada, which is what I'm just going to call her. Carmen from Canada forever.
I got it
yeah,
now. Thanks, John.
yeah,
Well, you're not alone. I mean, that part's
right.
not that, yeah, you're not alone. And yeah, yesterday I went and I met a friend and I had just like gassy stuff because I'd gone to a barbecue place and the guy gave me like free sweet potato pie and peach cobbler the day before. And then we're out and it's like everywhere we are, I need to know that I'm near a bathroom. I'm just having all this gassy stuff going on and it didn't even occur to me to get a diaper. It was more like, I got to be near a bathroom. And it didn't even happen, but it's well, I will say, because I seem to be the only one who takes ampyra, which is like such a benign, almost benign medication, and it helps with that. It's kind of not known to do that, but I talked to the neurologist because I stopped taking it for a little while and I had no control over my bowels or my bladder, and I took it, and then I took it back. It's fast acting, and after a few days, I was back to my normal, which is like not scary, but
What's it
and the
called?
neurologist said it's not known to be used for that, but she can understand the mechanism of action that it would do that.
Ampyra. I'm on Ampyra as well. It's generic. Is it dalfampridine, Kim?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, that's an Amanda question.
No, isn't that? Hold on.
That is a
Isn't that
Google question.
the one that you said? Isn't that Ampyra, the MS walking medication?
Yes.
I thought. Okay, yeah.
But it
I
has
mean,
a
I
generic
haven't
name.
I haven't noticed it helped with the walking, and so I stopped taking it for a while, and then I don't have time, and so I called the nurse, and she said it's fast acting. If you stop taking it and you notice a change, if you start taking it again, and if in 3 days you feel, a change, and also my hand was very stiff, and it got more stiff when I didn't take it, so I still haven't figured out. I know it's the walking medication. I haven't Well, even if I figured out the mechanism of action, I'd forget about it.
Now, John, when you had this, was it because you had no warning or because you didn't have enough time to transfer to?
It was really both. It was like, as I was like, you know what? I have to go to the bathroom. I stood up, took one step, and that's the warning I got.
That, so
At
yeah,
least I,
so it was very small.
yeah, at least, we do keep little mats down in some places. So luckily I was able to get to that. And so we didn't have to scrub the carpet this time. But still.
Was it well formed?
To be honest, yes.
Well, see, I mean, no, it's important about
Yeah,
that because
yeah.
I have well formed stools, and I have like, I don't know, 6 to 8 seconds to get to the bathroom in my house. So, and it usually happens when I'm either going to get ready to eat, while I'm eating, or right after. So it's like usually like within an hour of a window. So I try not to like eat and then go swim. I try to make sure I've done it before I went out. But I think it is important to notice if it's a well-formed stool or not, because
Yeah.
it's sad, that it's not diarrhea. It's just a lack of control.
Yeah. The worst time is when you just sit down in the shower and then you're wet, you're washing your hair, and then you're like, man, do I just do it in here? You just think like it's off-putting. This is something kind of new to me.
But you can figure out ways to deal with that. Like you have like a Ziploc bag or something. Like, okay, so I did caving for a while. So females, you had to bring in like a plastic peanut butter jar to pee in, and then you brought Ziploc bags to poo in because you can't do that in the cave. You got to take everything out. And so I have actually done that. I have crapped in a Ziploc bag in a cave.
I want your life.
What?
I
want your life.
Well, I wouldn't go to a cave now. I wouldn't feel comfortable because some of the caves I went into, like I couldn't move my head once you went through that. You couldn't move, and I want to get stuck now. But
Can
but I did do that.
Everyone about a cave system? A group that I was involved with, the International Associations for Geosciences Diversity, actually took a mile loop in Mammoth Caves in Kentucky and made it 100% accessible. And they used people in wheelchairs with vision issues, with audio issues, and they mapped it. It was a really, really big event, and it's really cool that, I wasn't able to be part of that, but it was awesome.
I did love caving, and the caves we were in were not commercial caves whatsoever. But yeah, it was fun. Does anyone have any other comments or anything they'd like to share with John on this topic?
I would just say, John, I don't have like that particular symptom like related to MS, but I'm rather clumsy and I do blame myself a lot for those things. So something I did today was just try to give yourself advice on like what you would tell a friend. And because I tend to be really hard on myself and I'm like, oh, that's so stupid, automatically go into negative self-talk. And like today I did something and I was just like, don't let this ruin your day. Just like turn it around, like just talking to myself almost as like a third person. I feel like sometimes it's easier for us to be nicer to other people. And then as like someone who always tries to problem solve, I'm like, all right, so now what do we have for next time? Are we going to have the Ziploc bags next to the wherever we are? All of those things have that stuff just around. So you can kind of just figure out what your new normal is. Like last time we talked about, what's your version of your Michael Jackson gloves? Do you remember this?
I personally don't.
About me cutting myself. So you were like, why don't you just get
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yes. I thought we were still talking about bathroom stuff, and I'm like, Your
That's
Michael
great
Jackson
advice.
glove, that's, you know.
That's great advice, Amanda. I really like that because sometimes we have to remind ourselves to be nicer to ourselves. Like we do talk nice to strangers and say stupid things to ourselves. Like, oh, you're so stupid. Like, why did you do that? I do that all the time and I'm catching myself. Like, yeah, talk nicer to ourselves.
Yeah, self-compassion is so huge when you have MS because it's so easy to beat yourself up of who you used to be before MS and how you're changing with MS. And you just have to be really gentle on yourself and realize, hey, if I can get up and brush my teeth, that's a good day. Like, you can't be super harsh. I do have to
Yeah.
say, John, that I do look forward to future meetings when I see your updated diapers that you have blinged out, or I don't know if you can draw in diapers pictures. I don't know, but I'm looking for your creativity in future movies. So you show us your artwork. I'm looking forward to
I
it.
wonder if I should try to take like my different MRI results and put them on the diapers. You know, a different kind of art like that lady did that we met. What was her name? Jennifer?
Elizabeth, help me out. Is Elizabeth? Is it?
Elizabeth Jameson.
Thank
Thank
you.
you. Thank you.
John, tidy
Yes.
white, tidy whiteys.
Yeah. Yeah. Keep
Well,
it contained.
you can always see if Hannah can do some one-on-one art class or art lessons with you.
You tell her you want an art class where you guys decorate diapers. And I bet she would figure it out. I'm totally serious. She would figure it out.
Yeah. Excuse me. These are the 6 I don't use because I did them in art class and they're
They're
very
special.
meaningful to me.
Yes,
Yeah.
yes. They get framed. Framed diapers hanging on the wall. That'd be amazing. I love it. Okay, we got a couple of new people that have entered that need to introduce. So, Amina, go ahead and introduce yourself, girl.
Hi, guys. My name is Amina Grant, and I'm a little late, and I do apologize for that, but I'm happy to be here.
And then, did you need time tonight to talk about something? Do I need to put you down?
Um, no, I'm just waiting for my doctor appointment. So there's really not a lot going on right now.
Well,
Thank you.
you're welcome. I'm glad you were able to make it. And Tim snuck in. Tim, introduce yourself.
There we go. Good evening, everybody. I'm Tim. I take Abagio. It's a fantastic drug. It's a drug of a new generation. That's right, folks. And Jennifer is my Abagio partner in crime. We are going to be taking over Abagio very soon. Let's see here. I have MSCIS. I'm taking Abagio and just got done with my brain MRI, talking with my doc in a couple next week. So yes, if you'd like to put me down for that, I'll talk later on. And
Great.
I am good to go, happy. And this whole diaper talk, I got to tell you, folks. Okay, I'm a dad of twins, and I got out of therapy because my girls are no longer in diapers. Well, they haven't been in diapers for a few years, but this is just, triggering me, making me flash back. So, I'll be very quiet. I'm kidding. I'm sorry. I'm punchy today.
You know we love you, Tim, right?
And
Tim,
I love you guys.
Tim, do you have any like clinical, hits that you got from your therapist years ago? Like things that would only apply to you and your twins, but not me.
Yes, and I'll do a podcast about it, and then I'll send it to you.
Perfection.
Absolutely. You got it, my friend.
Is there anyone else want to comment about the diapers before we go on to the next subject? Are we all good?
I wouldn't be me if I didn't throw in my 2 cents about the word diaper. I think that it's very kind of belittling to people that deal with incontinence, whether it be bowel or bladder. We're adults, and I feel that it kind of knocks it down to like a childish level. Maybe
Yeah.
I'm the only person that thinks that. I feel like you need to have a little more respect for yourself and call it like a brief, or just maybe, Jon, if you think of it like a diaper, like you're a baby or something that emasculates you. I don't know.
Yeah, I
I
might
think
even
you're
go
totally
for
right,
like,
Jennifer, that we should be changing the term for an adult versus a child. Absolutely.
Yeah.
But that is
Well,
the normal terminology today, unfortunately.
and
you know what?
I don't wanna poo on your party, but I just feel like we're adults and we need to take back the word because we're dealing with adult neurological issues. And like I told you today, Jon, this is not your fault.
Yeah,
This is multiple sclerosis. So if you have an accident, it's an accident because of this damn disease. It's not because of you. So just, yeah, that's all. That's my 2 cents.
Jen,
I'm off my soapbox.
do you have a preferred terminology? Because unfortunately, with females, I know, like, and males, they call briefs, which is just
Yeah.
regular underwear. So do you have like a good term and alternative?
I just think I understand like incontinence supplies are often called diapers, but I just like that to me I feel like okay, people with MS can't walk. People with MS can't feed themselves. People with MS wear diapers. Like bullshit. I'm a 47-year-old woman. I don't want to be, you know, I don't. I want to do as much as I can to maintain my agency, my adultness. Respect me. So that's Rick is talking about something. So that's it. That's just my 2 cents.
those are great 2 cents.
If
And
Thank
Mm-hmm.
you,
if
Jon.
anyone comes up with a
yeah,
good different name to use instead of diapers, I would love to hear it or bring it up for brainstorm it because I would be interested.
Yeah.
we could
So
we
Padded
could
underwear, that's what I call them.
we could bring it
Sport.
Thank
back,
you.
bring back Diddy. Like an old school name, a Diddy. That
I
yeah.
mean, just anything to give us respect. But Carmen, I like that. That's a good term. It's just, yeah. Okay, so I'm done.
It's so
I get
interesting that this is the topic that has come up, and I hate to jump in, but I'm dealing with like sudden complete incontinence after my knee surgery, and it's been absolutely horrific just to be suddenly unable to control my urine, like awful. And I don't know, it's like some control is starting to come back, thankfully. I'm 3 weeks post surgery, but I've just gone through such a major like inversion of all my symptoms, and so incontinence is one of them. And you guys are just talking about all these things and I'm just like, oh my gosh, I definitely got to the right group, or like the right time to come to this talk, so thank you.
Yeah.
so do they think that it will go away with time, Carmen?
Who think,
Well,
who would I ask that?
I'm just curious because I know, like, after recovery of surgery, certain things come back, but that seems so interesting that it's remained for it sounds like
Yeah,
been a while.
well, it's definitely coming back. Like I'm having more control, but I've also now switched medication because I was having such urgency, and I just had no time to. And of course, with a bum knee, you can't really get to the toilet very quickly, so everything just takes more time, and so that's another factor. I think if I didn't have the knee impeding me, then I could maybe make it to the bathroom on time for some of these times. So I don't know. I'm not sure. And I don't, it's not like I have a neurologist that I can ask or talk to. My neurologist is located about 4 hours away. I mean, I could call and, have a conversation, and I will if things don't continue to improve. But at this point, I'm just in recovery mode. So the knee surgery is great. The knee is awesome. Like if I didn't have MS, I'd be laughing. Like people that complain about a knee surgery now, I'm just like, yeah, do it with MS.
Carmen,
Anyway,
have you thought about seeing I'm going to butcher it right now because I'm tired, pelvic floor physical therapist?
yes. Mm-hmm. It's on my list of a few things to do. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
That was
Have you had
really
some
helpful for
experience?
me. Oh
Yeah.
yeah. I was having some massive issues, and so I saw one. I saw it December and January, and I think I had like 85% improvement. So I had
Oh,
massive, major,
awesome.
was
Yep.
able to reclaim a bunch of stuff that was because it was just getting
Mm-hmm.
so
Yeah.
like John and everyone was talking about how frustrating it is with no warning and things like that. So
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
I
Yeah.
highly recommend
Okay.
that you check that out and see if that
Good
helps you out at
idea.
all.
Thanks, Kim.
Okay, you're
I
welcome.
had
And then I
I'm
didn't know if you guys like if this is a kind of a states thing that you guys do call them diapers down there because I used to work in long-term care and they were pads. Like we would refer to them as pads. I mean, they were pads that went in their mesh underwear, but nobody really
Typically, what do you
called.
guys call them at the
Brief.
nursing home? You do call them briefs?
Yeah, we call them briefs for men and women.
Really?
Yep. Residents definitely preferred over diapers. They're
Yeah,
not allowed
yeah, I
to call
can
them
see that.
diapers at all. I yell at people a lot for calling them diapers.
'Cause I just feel like in the general public, if you said briefs, then they think something else. In the healthcare field, if you say briefs, they understand better. But outside, the common person be like, okay, you know what I'm saying? Just because it's such a common phrase used in underwear. Okay, thanks for.
Why do you need to change your underwear right now, John? I just need new briefs.
Yeah.
Baffle them with BS if you can't.
Anyone else comments before we move to the next topic? Anything else you guys like to say?
I personally
I
like
put
P. Diddy's.
What was it?
P. Diddy's.
Yeah,
That
yeah.
confuses me.
Well,
Wow. P.
sometimes they're
Diddy's.
kind of puffy.
That was a good one.
Mm-hmm.
I was just gonna say, I put a link in the chat. It's not for it depends. It doesn't support everything, but for mild leaks, there's a company. I use their menstruation underwear, but they have a line for incontinence. They're reusable, so if it helps anyone, I just put that in there. I know some women use those, and they're really helpful. They're eco-friendly and
Mm,
they're reusable. So just
mm.
having that as a resource.
Thank you.
Okay, let's go ahead and go to Amanda. What would you want to share tonight?
Yeah, so I don't think I can share my screen or if I press that button, but we'll see. But I have to close
Are
all my
you an
browsers.
organizer? Do we make you
Um,
you're an organizer. You should be able to share your screen. Try it.
No, we have to make her a presenter.
Oh, hold on. I'll make you a presenter, girl.
okay. I
See if
pressed
I
the
can.
button and it didn't like it, so
Yes. Okay, you are now a presenter. Now you go.
okay, accessibility. I think I have to allow permissions. That's control. We'll see. Let me try joining from the web and not the app because it's not letting me share it. Or I can send you the link, maybe if you can share it.
What happens when you click on share?
It says GoToMeeting needs to use accessibility features, and then it's like give your. Oh, it says go to. I have to change my settings, pretty much on my Mac. I have to give it permission, but I don't know how to do that right now.
Do you want us to skip you while you play with it, or do you want to wait, or what do you feel comfortable with?
Can you share yours and I can just narrate it? or I can
If
figure
it
it out.
lets me, I probably have to go through the same thing you do. I've never shared before.
Okay. Let me log out. I'll play with it, and then if I just start sharing my screen, just ignore me. I've figured it out, so we can compare.
So, Amanda, maybe I can help you. If you're the presenter, you then hit share, and if you've got more than one screen, it'll give you the choice of which screen you want to share. And you press that, and you should come right up. So if you're designated as the presenter right now, then you just hit share screen, which will be one of the options, or screen maybe, and then it'll say share. Pretty easy. But okay.
Okay, we'll just go to Christy, and then when Amanda figures that out, we'll go back to her. So Christy, take it away. Sorry, I'm getting tired, guys.
No worries. So, this new neurologist, we talked today about the Baclofen pump. So apparently there is somebody who can, what's the word I'm looking for, that can monitor it, whereas the previous rehabilitation lady said that there wasn't anybody in the state of Colorado to monitor. So we're visiting that. But she also is a big, uh, like into pot. So she's more on the holistic side. She'd rather like something like using pot instead of getting something permanently put into your body to help with the muscle spasms and spasticity. So she kind of gave me like direction on what kind of pot I need to get, which was kind of weird, but okay. I know it's, Colorado's, the pot state. So it's not abnormal. It's just not normal for me to have a doctor to talk about it and, really push for it. So she basically she said, let's try this out before I get you over to the pain management doctor to do the Baclofen pump. The hard part is that she wants like it was hard for me because I felt like leaving that meeting that there was no resolution to what's going on with me, besides, go get some CBD with THC. And Steve's over there saying, he's like, that was just an intake. We haven't really, because I was there for 2.5 hours. So it was just an intake, and she had to get my whole history of everything. And, she's going back to like before this last flare this last year. When was the last time I had a flare? It's been a while. Well, when was it? I don't know. Like, don't ask me to give you dates and years. I just know it was a while ago. And Steve kind of pinpointed. He's like, the last time he had a flare was when we were going out to mom and dad's for Christmas, and I was like, yeah, but what year was that? He's like, I don't know. So, it's hard to give information, and it's just this whole cognitive is getting worse for me. I mean, we were talking, Steve and I were talking, and I couldn't think of the word protest at all, because we were talking about, the Roe versus Wade and all that stuff, and how, for any changes, it has to go through the legislative and all that stuff. And I was like, well, maybe with all and I was like, he's like, the what? And I said, hold on, I'm looking for the word. I was like, where people all congregate and, all that stuff. And he's like, rally? I said, no. He's like, march? I'm like, no. I was like, I can't think of the word. And he's like, well, it doesn't probably help that I can't think of the word you're thinking of. And I'm like, no, it doesn't. So it took me a while, and then just out of nowhere, protest. He's like, oh yeah, protest. So, it's like little things like that, like things, like Kim's been through it, like with pencil. It's like I'm finding more and more that my cognitive is getting worse and worse. And that's been a very hard struggle for me, and, I wish I had Kim's husband, because he knows exactly what she wants to say when she wants to say it, where mine's just like, we have two different thought processes, and I end up getting frustrated, and he's frustrated. And it's like, I don't know how to fix that. I don't know how to help him to help me.
A thing that I do is I describe what I'm trying to say. Like a weather vane. Couldn't remember the word weather vane. I saw one I liked. I'm like, chicken wind arrow. Look. And she's like, oh, do you mean the weather vane? I'm like, yes.
Yeah. So
yeah.
It's common words that, I would normally speak.
Yeah.
And just in normal conversation, I'm just like, I like have to stop, and it's like, what is that word? What is that word? And it's like, on top of, loss of words, I'm having loss of memory. And that's like, it feels a little too much for me right now, and I don't know how to process through it. That's one thing that I'm like really struggling with, is my cognitive. And I don't know how to go forward and accept that as my new normal, because it doesn't feel like a normal for me. So I don't know if anybody has any advice on how to move forward. I'm just really struggling with that part right now, because I'm not used to it. That's not something that, I've ever had a problem with. But lately, as of probably, I would say since I had COVID last month, it's like I have the worst, and everybody's like, it's COVID brain, you have brain fog. And I was like, no, I have MS. And that has nothing to do with COVID. I'm sure COVID didn't help, but this is worse than brain fog. It's like, it's just one of those points where it's like, brain fog, it's going to come back at some point. Oh man, there's fireworks going off. I was like, what is that? Where when you have brain fog from like COVID, at some point it's going to come back. When you have loss of words and memories with MS, it's probably not going to come back to its full how it was before. You might get a little piece of it back, but that's not guaranteed. So that's something I've been struggling with.
Chrissy, something that I personally do for that is sometimes I'll just think about one place where I've been a bunch of times, and that will help me with like the process of thinking, if that makes any sense. And then also like brain games. Heck yeah, get an app, do brain games. They're not fun, but if you're from Colorado and you want an opinion of a Michigander, I would say that a 1-to-1 sativa to CBD blend would be perfect for you. The CBD will
CBD.
help lower some of the pain and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
And a sativa will raise your spirits. I
Yeah.
use sativa every day right before work. It helps me. Of course, your experience may be different.
Well, and what the doctor was recommending is 20-to-1, so 20 CBD, 1 THC.
Even better. Even better.
So I mean, I have to go into a dispensary. They're the people. They are the ones that are the most knowledgeable. Or my best friend. She is like the queen of marijuana and like the different strands and what everything does. And I'm like, why don't you work at a dispensary? She's like, she's like, I want to smoke it all day. So she's like, that would be just pointless for me to work there. But yeah, she's thoroughly knowledgeable in everything. But yeah, but the doctor was telling me, she said, do a 20-to-1, so 20 CBD, 1 THC. She's like, and I'm not talking like, like, she's like, nothing like a oil or anything like that. She's like, you need to get into the gummies. And she's like,
Mm-hmm.
she goes, pardon my French, she's just effing smoke it. And I was just like, Um, I have like psychological issues with smoking because I had a bad
Okay.
experience in high school, so I have to do edibles. But she's like, you need to get anything outside of like something liquid that you put in your mouth. She's like, you need to have, that like edible, like a gummy or a pastry or something.
I love your doctor.
I I kind of love her too, that she's knowledgeable on this stuff,
Mm-hmm.
which helps because, you could walk into a dispensary and they don't know what me as a person is going through,
Yeah.
and
Mm-hmm.
I go, well, what if I do like a 20-to-2? She's like, if you don't mind being high, okay. She's like, if you do like a 20-to-1, the CBD is going to help you your muscles relax. And she's like, and the THC will help you hopefully go to sleep.
Or it'll
Mm-hmm.
help you not be upset about losing a word. Like, oh yeah, I'm just high. That has been easier for
Yeah.
me than
Yeah.
Carmen knows.
Yeah, that would take me back to high school. That's how long it's been since I've dabbled in marijuana. But that was long before dispensaries where it was the skunk stuff and you didn't know what you were getting when you're purchasing it.
Mm-hmm.
It was
Back in the
compact. That was
90s.
in the car door. Some
Right,
dude had it in his sock before he gave it to you, like loose.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
right.
I
Yeah, it's a
remember
Yeah,
whole
those days.
different world now. A whole different world. A
yeah.
much better world.
Yeah.
Yeah, so, and also I'm waiting, she's gonna get me uh medical marijuana
Yeah.
thing, because I'm sorry, but taxes are ridiculous for on marijuana here.
Oh yeah.
And that's across, the states.
Mm-hmm.
That's where, if it's legal in the state, that's where a lot of the tax money they're getting from, or they're using, I guess, apparently for extra spending, and it's just a ridiculous tax amount. So I don't know. I have reservations about it, but at this point, I'm willing to try anything. I'm just over all this pain, and I mean, I cry every day because sometimes the spasms are so bad, and the spasticity in my right leg is so bad that, like, I go to try even to stretch out my leg because it's hurting, and it causes a spasm, and it's like this last these last couple of days the spasms have been so bad, like I can't even function. Like, Steve asks me questions and I can't even answer them because all I can concentrate is on that stupid spasm. And
Mm-hmm.
praying that it'll go away. And at times it doesn't go away quick enough. And it's just extremely painful. Like, I've had bad Charlie horses, in my time, but this is like, take a Charlie horse, times it by like, I don't know, 100, and then put a length of time on it. And you can't even because a Charlie horse, you can usually stretch it out or rub it out or something. No, you can't do that with spasms. It's like, and Steve's always like, is there anything I can do? I was like, no. It's like, I just have to write this out. And that's the hard part. And so at this point, I'm willing to try anything. I've been dealing with spasms since, I think, August.
Oh, that's too long.
Yeah.
That's too long.
Right. So
are you getting a Baclofen pump? Are you in the works to getting that?
She wants me to try other things before the Baclofen pump. She wants me to try, like I said, the marijuana. She wants me to try physical therapy. She wants, because basically she said with insurance, especially insurance, what's the word I'm looking for? Like
coverage.
Yes, in Colorado, thank you. Insurance coverage in Colorado, they want you to try every avenue before it gets to that extreme. Like to have something installed in you, like the pump, whatever, installed, and then have it monitored. So yeah, so she wants me to try everything and see if anything else will help. And from what I can gather, she's a big supporter of more natural than medical. If there's things out there naturally that can help over putting all this medicine in your body, she's all for it. But she understands, the medicine is important. And she's actually really mad at my previous neurologist for, she said my Gilenya, when he took me off, I should have stayed on Gilenya up until, she said, at minimum a week before my first infusion with Ocrevus. So, I mean, she's like, yeah, she's like that period, that 3 months that you were without any DMT, she's like, it really wreaked havoc and screwed up, the already flare up that you were having, the minor flare up that you were having. It kind of just opened the floodgates and allowed it to become a full blown flare up. So she's actually kind of upset with my previous neurologist for advising that I go completely off of Gilenya, knowing that it had been it had been a while between DMTs. So I mean, I'd heard that from Dr. Carter down at the Mayo, that because of, the lack of medication for 3 months caused what he called it as a rebound. But it's nice to hear from another doctor, the same conclusion. So it kind of pisses me off too with my previous neurologist that he did that. Because I even asked him, I said, well, do you want me to stay on Gilenya till, he's like, no, there's no point. You're going to be on Ocrevus soon. Well, that soon was 3 months, and that 3 months caused a lot of problems. So I'm kind of, that's another thing that kind of hit me today, that kind of, well, thanks, Doc. I probably wouldn't be as bad. continued to be on Gilenya. So
that blows my mind that they
yeah,
would tell you to stop a DMT. Like, if there's one thing that I've heard and that I've heard about a lot is no downtime between the two. Yeah, but man.
Yeah, and she said,
I'm sorry you had that.
She said at max, maybe stopping a week before stopping the previous DMT before I went on Ocrevus. She's like, you should have been on it for that 3 months. I'm like, oh, well, that's not the first time I've heard that, but it's nice to hear a second person say that, a second doctor say that. And so I don't know, it was kind of woke me today. So I'm just like, well, maybe I wouldn't be having all these problems had I not gone into the flare up that I went in, and then ended up breaking my free of my metatarsal, breaking my fibula. Maybe I wouldn't have had all these issues. So, I mean, it's something that happened in the past. You can't change it, but you can still be upset about it, I feel.
Christy, I feel so much empathy for you about your spasticity. I mean, I have just a bit of it, but what you're describing sounds very painful, and I really hope that you can find something that will help you. One thing that I've used is a percussion gun. Have you ever tried one of those, like a little massage gun?
No, I have like a massager, and I have it on the lowest setting, and I try to no, that's I can't.
No, too
It's too
painful.
bad.
Yeah, sorry about that.
That's okay.
And you guys, I'm trying to get my camera to work, but it won't turn on.
We see you just fine.
We see you
Really?
just fine.
Oh, here, I'm
Yeah.
thinking that you're not seeing me because it's not showing. Okay. Awesome. Sorry. It's not about
you
me,
are
it's about you,
in here
Christy.
twice. I am seeing you.
Oh, maybe. Okay. Sorry.
No, that's
Anyway,
okay.
I do feel for you, and I hope that you can find something that will find some solution for you. But do try the THC and CBD. I will tell you that cannabis really has changed my spasticity and how I deal with it almost every evening. And I smoke. I use cannabis, and the best ones, I know I like it when I start stretching. Like, I just start in my chair and I just start stretching, and none of my tight areas feel painful. They just feel like, oh, okay, I got to move that. Oh yeah, I got to move that. And then it just leads everywhere, and I have such like presence of mind about where the pain is or the discomfort, because it doesn't really feel like pain when I've used a bit of cannabis. So if you can find the right thing, hopefully that will give you some.
Oh no, I think she got rid of the wrong one.
Yeah, she'll be back.
She'll be back.
Hopefully.
Yeah,
And
go ahead, Jen.
I wasn't here last month, or last time, but I see that Olivia is here, and we haven't acknowledged you, Olivia. I don't know if Kim or anybody that was here. Do you see Olivia?
Yeah,
Olivia's here. She's been here the last couple meetings. Welcome. Did you introduce yourself?
Hi, can you hear me?
Yes.
Yes.
Oh, hi. I didn't know if I was muted or not muted this whole time. I'm so sorry if you heard background noise from me. I had no idea because I'm on a phone, not a video.
Right.
Yeah. It's Olivia. I just heard the last share, and I so related about the whole cognitive part so much. Since I last saw you guys a few weeks ago, I went to a second opinion. I went to a second doctor, and I am so thankful because I left the first doctor, and I am staying with this second doctor. So that went really, really, really well, and I feel like I'm in better care. I think I'll be in better care with him. So that's like a huge relief that makes me feel like, if I could possibly say, more stable in the diagnosis, with feeling that I have someone that is going to take me seriously and not brush off my symptoms towards mental health stuff, you know? So that's like a
Yeah.
huge, 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 huge thing for me, because, you
Yeah.
know, like, I definitely have mental health stuff, and he not once mentioned anything mental health wise the whole like 2 hours I was with him. And it made me feel like I was a person with an MS diagnosis versus a mental health patient that has MS. You know what I mean? It was just a night and day treatment. And then today I had my 5th Tysabri infusion, and I feel okay this minute. I feel okay this minute. It was the first time I had someone go with me to my infusion, and I have to say it made the infusion so much better having someone like supportive with me there, feeling like someone was actually showing up for me in a way, you know. And it was a huge, like, today's infusion went so much better. I had a beautiful view. I had a corner, you know, with
You're in
lawn,
Chicago,
whatever.
aren't you?
Yeah, I'm in Chicago at Northwestern.
Okay.
So I had a corner area that I got to see the lake, and I got a beautiful view and a friend there, and it made it so much better. But back to like what the person before was saying about the cognitive, I think that's the part that scares me the most with all of this, is because I've been having a very fast cognitive decline, and that's really, really, really scary for me. Just as the person before spoke about, as I've always had the most amazing, amazing, amazing memory, and now I'm having a hard time remembering things or retaining information. And I brought it up to this doctor, and the doctor goes, well, you know, it can't just be MS. It has to be multiple things with it. So I don't know, but it's like very scary that, I'm on the phone. I'm sorry.
You're okay.
Someone was trying to talk to me on the street. I'm sorry. So it was just, I don't know. I'm scared about the cognitive part, just as, you know, the person before was mentioning. But besides the cognitive, I'm definitely interested in, you know, maybe adding, you know, CBD or THC down the line, but not today. But I'm feeling okay this minute. I'm feeling okay today, so I'm thankful for that.
That's a huge win.
Yeah, huge win to have a new doctor that takes me seriously and to feel okay today. So I'm just super thankful. Thank you for letting me share.
Well, thank you for sharing.
You're welcome.
Yeah.
I guess we could swing back to the cognitive issues. I feel like I'm kind of a pro on this one because this is an area I really struggle with, which I always laugh about. Why do I moderate? Because I'm the one that has all the cognitive issues. But my biggest thing that helped me, and it's going to sound really crazy and ironic, is to let go. So I would consume so much energy to my frustration and my fear and being so angry with myself and not being able to remember things, because I used to be reading scientific and medical journals, and then like last summer I was reading aged 8 to 12-year-old books for 8 to 12-year-old kids, like Laura Ingalls Wilder books, and I just had to let go. And I remember one time I was reading a book and I'm like, what is this word? And I look up the definition, and it was like my brain had a plastic Ziploc bag over it, because it didn't matter how many times I read the definition, it wasn't sinking in. Like, it was just one ear and out the other after reading it like 5 or 6 times. And I just had to come to the conclusion, you've not known this word for over 30 some years. It's probably okay if you don't remember it for the next 30 some years, and just let it go. And I know when I have problems with word finding, because I am dyslexic and the MS worsens that for me, it's now a game I play with people. So when I can't think of a word, I talk around the word, and I'm very open with people I don't know. I'm like, I'm sorry, I have cognition issues. I'm very open with it. And so we just play around until we get to the word, like, great, and then move on. And I don't let it, like Jennifer was saying earlier, wearing briefs, it's not your fault. So I've learned self-compassion with my cognition issues. And if something's too hard or I can't understand it, I know we've talked about how many people here have closed captioning on so you can understand better what's going on. It's very, very common in our group. And I just let it go. And the more I let go and not try to control it, the happier I am, the easier it is. I just go with the flow. And I know that sounds really hard. It took me a long, long, long time to get there. That is not an overnight thing. But that's what's helped me. And then hopefully, too, Christy, if you get your pain under control, hopefully your cognition will go up. You will have better cognition. But I don't get mad at myself anymore. I know it's not my fault, and I do the best I can. And I do the opposite now. So when I remember something, I'm like, high fives all around. Woo! I remember something, versus getting super frustrated every time I forget something. So, and I'm
Yeah,
very,
and
oh, go ahead.
no, I was just gonna say a lot of the time, like if I can't think of something or remember something, I just kind of drop it because the less I think about it, it pops in my memory. I'm just
Exactly,
like,
100%. You learn, like, instead of like really freak about it, you're just like, okay, I'm just gonna like kind of just let it lean, let it go in the background, and it'll pop back up.
right. And that's something that like it's just random. Like it's already segued into something completely different. And then here I am. I'm like, oh, that was an orange. And then was like, what? And I'm like, never mind. I was like, I remembered a word. Like,
Remember 3 hours ago when we were talking about something that's a fruit that is also a color? I
right.
thought of it. Yeah.
Orange.
Right.
I'm going to call you
Excuse
at
me,
4 in the
Kim.
morning.
Oh.
And I just have fun with it. I just have a lot of fun with it, and I use my sense of humor. And if I say something silly and someone points it out, I don't feel bad about it. I laugh about it too because it's funny. It's like, yeah, what? That was crazy. Or if I catch myself saying something funny, I'll laugh because I'm like, oh yeah, that that was silly.
Yeah.
And and that really helps me cope with it. But did I get, like I said, did I get that overnight? No, that was a
No, that took
long,
a little
long,
time. Yeah.
long time. But I think half of it is just that self-compassion and knowing, like, yes, it's not your fault. You're not in my two biggest fears in high school was losing my mind and not being financially independent. What do I deal with every day? Losing my mind, essentially, and not being financially independent. And you learn to face your fears, and you learn to move through life and not let your fears and to like not let fears run your life. And you don't you live in love and not fear. And that's worked really well for me. So I know that's kind of
Well,
a weird answer, but I do have an amazing, Christy, you are right. My husband is an amazing translator. If I ever have to do like a
he's
big fancy interview, which will never happen, but if I ever do, I'd have to bring him and they'll ask me a question. I'll look at my husband like, okay, you go ahead, babe. You tell him what I'm thinking. I'll add in my
he's
things.
he speaks Kim, and I witnessed that when we were all together
He's
last
amazing.
October. He speaks Kim, like
He
so.
knows me way too well. It's kind of scary. It's pretty scary, actually.
Yeah, so it's like I wish my husband would get on that same page, but it's not his fault, But we've been together for 18 years, but you would think that he would know, but
Some people have better skills in some areas, and that's just how it is.
right.
So I think
When you were
Jennifer,
talking about, oh,
go ahead,
Go
Amina.
oh,
ahead.
Go ahead.
excuse me. Oh, as far as the cognitive issues and, self-love, being kind to yourself, that resonated with me because right when COVID started, I ended up in for like a couple of months off and on quarantining with a couple of people that definitely weren't kind all the time about the cognitive things. I mean, I literally couldn't think of the word tablespoon and like really simple things like that. And I kind of got side-eyed a couple times. I was around people that didn't really take the time out or really listen to what I was saying about it. And, it was like a twofold, lesson that I learned, make sure that you're around people that you can feel really safe around, as far as the illness and all that, and forgiving myself for maybe thinking that I'm appearing like I'm inept or something. And I'm not. I just forgot what the hell a teaspoon was. And that's okay. I thought about I remembered it in the middle of the night. That's important. At least it did come to me. But like I was saying, that really resonates with me as far as not really forgiving yourself because you're not at fault, but just accepting yourself and accepting that this is what it is and being around people that really care about you and not just that understand better and take the time out to understand. And so that was a big lesson that I learned. And, but what you're talking about today is really resonating with me. Really appreciate this discussion because it resonates totally. And yeah, because I also was like an avid reader and I can read a book in a couple of days and like just talk about it. And that hasn't happened for a long time. And that's okay, And so yeah, that's where I'm at right now. This meeting today is resonating totally. And with the cognitive thing, you hate to think that people think you're dumb. And I have to get over that too. That doesn't belong to me. That belongs to them. And so yeah. Anyway, thank you.
I think you bring out a good point, Amina. Like, you feel dumb. You're not dumb. You just don't know the word at the moment. You know it. You just can't access that filing drawer at the moment. So
Right.
I don't know. I've been really lucky. I guess the people I'm around, like, I don't have issue. I'm very open and honest, and I always like, oh, I'm sorry, I have cognition issues, or like if I go to the store, I have MS. Like, I'm sorry, I have MS. have fatigue issues. Can you help? And I've had really good luck, but I'm also I look like I I need a little help, like I'm sorry for you, girl, But the thing with you talking the reading that made me think is when I do a book club, I have to highlight everything when I read, and then 2 to 3 hours before the book club, I have to read everything I highlighted, or else I'll go to the book club and they go, so tell me about this. I won't be able to tell you one thing about the book. I'll like know the title and that's it. And you say one thing like Shanghai, I'm like, oh yeah, Shanghai, about that, but I can't pull it up. So I have to
Right.
review everything a couple hours before, or else
Right.
I have nothing because it's not, I have it back in my short-term memory again, which is so weird.
Totally.
But that doesn't stop my love of reading. I still do it.
Right.
And,
Yeah.
but I just kind of work around it. So we have a
Work
really
around
great
it.
chat here happening in the box here. This is great. So,
Well,
anyone
Yeah,
else
I'm
have any
kind of
comments?
yeah, I'm taking introduction to Spanish. I want to learn how to when I go out of the country, at least basic Spanish, but then I want to be more than just basic, but I'm taking it and I'm totally doing different things than I did back when I was in college 20 years ago. Like writing like extra notes, like preparing for the class so that I can really be present, try to be present as much as possible. And it definitely helps. it just takes a little more rejudging, as they say, and figuring out what works, and yeah.
And I used to read a lot as well. But I was getting to the point where I'd read like a paragraph and I'm like, what did I just read? So I
Mm,
was rereading a lot of stuff. Um, and it still just wasn't sticking. So I
yeah.
have gone over to Audible books so that
Mm,
if I have to, I can rewind and listen to it. And I've changed the speed of how the narrator reads the book. And I'm like, it's helped. But, I've read some great book or listened to some great books,
mhm,
but I can't tell you what they were all about. Like I can give you
mhm,
a general because I can't like say, oh, well, it was great because of this. It's just like, okay, like one of the great books I read was the Michelle Obama book. That was a great book. It
mm,
it had like it left me with a great feeling, but I can't tell you like specific things about the book. Just that it was a great book, and that's where I leave it. And people ask me why it was great because it made me feel good by the time I was done. They were like, okay. So I mean, that it's books like that and I'll read some like science fiction books, and
mm,
like everyone's like, oh, you need to get into this series. Well, I get into it, but first book's great, and I'll go to the second book and I'm like, why are they talking about this? Because it was referenced in the first book and I don't remember. So that does pose a little bit of a challenge for me, is trying to remember specific things with books. But
mm.
I do enjoy listening to books. And, you know, so, yeah, that's where I'm at with that. So
Yeah.
I
Needs to
do
be
have
like
one
me,
last,
Christy, where I will actually read and listen to it at the same time sometimes if it's something hard.
yeah,
I check both
Mm.
out at the library, baby.
That's an idea. I might try
well,
that.
and yeah, in some of the audibles, they have like the actual transcript. So you can follow along with the actual narrator. And I'm like, oh, this is great. Because I do that as well. I'll to kind of help me absorb a little, I'll follow along and listen. So that is something that I will do, Kim. So yeah. And then I do have one last thing, real quick. Um, so since all of this stuff, I have major anxiety because of not being able to transfer. I fall a lot. It's like a minimum of, I would say on average 2 to 3 times a day. And I have now developed anxiety. I have never had anxiety before, and this is very debilitating. And, the other day I was having issues. Sometimes it takes me hours to do simple things like get in the shower because
Mm,
I'm so fearful that my legs are just gonna not work for me for transferring, and it's so I have this anxiety. And you know one thing that Steve and I got in an argument about the other day, he tells me, he's frustrated, and he's like, you just need to get over it. And I'm like, I don't want to hear that out of your mouth. It's not a just get over it situation. It's something that
mm-mm.
I battle in my brain every time. So I don't know if anybody else has anxieties that
Oh
kind
yeah,
of debilitate them. And
absolutely. Yeah.
unfortunately it takes me much longer to get ready than a normal person. When I think
Hmm.
it's fast, it's like 2.5 hours. And I was like, oh,
Mm.
that was quick. And they're like, no, it wasn't. It's like, yeah, it was for me. it was quick. But
Yeah.
yeah, it's that whole anxiety thing, you know. So I just don't know if anybody else has had anxiety over something that's beyond their control and how they've worked through it.
Yeah. Every day, pretty much every
Yeah.
day. And I take antidepressant, and I meditate, and I just try to implement, higher frequency thought, and, but every day. So I can relate to what you're saying. Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
Cause it's a
Christy,
different thing. It's a different thing every day for me with MS. Like almost every couple of days, it's a different thing. And that can definitely create anxiety.
Right.
Yeah. Hmm.
Christy, I hate sounding like a broken record, but I do take my anxiety medicine. But then also there are other things that help me kind of calm down and relax. Like if I'm getting ready to go, like I work at home. You know, if I ever don't want to do work, don't want to sit in front of my computer, my wife will say, "Well, have you smoked yet?" And then like I smoke a little bit, and then I'm right back at work and focus on all the things.
Hmm.
Um, it's weird how we always think that like, oh, marijuana, you're gonna get stoned and not gonna be able to function. You're gonna become part of the couch. Well, I mean, you can do it that way. Like it's fun to do it that way sometimes. But just just a little bit during the day, it helps me.
Um, this anxiety is kind of taking over as
Yeah,
well. So
yeah.
it's
Hmm.
very it's very debilitating sometimes. It's a,
Hmm.
seriously a tug of war in my brain, and I don't think Steve completely understands and gets that I have this anxiety issue when I never had it really before, but now I do. And it's hard to voice to him without getting upset and frustrated that, I have this anxiety, and I don't, I just don't know how to voice to him, you know, as like a caregiver and my spouse, how he should handle it, because that's probably been the hardest part um, with this whole thing. I try to have compassion in the fact that I'm not the only one that's going through changes. He's going through them as well. And, I try to keep that in mind, but sometimes I just get so frustrated um, that he doesn't understand and he'll never understand. So that's what goes through my head is he doesn't understand and he'll never understand what I go through. So it's hard to communicate even with this cognitive issue of what is the best way to let him know and help him to understand when you don't even understand yourself as to what's going on. Just know that just know that you have this battle in your head about getting in the shower or going to the bathroom, and so yeah, there's been a lot of changes in my life, and it's been harder and harder, and I'm trying to really like figure out ways to help the people around me understand what's going on.
Hmm.
You know, I don't go out much because I have that fear of, well, is there going to be a bathroom big enough for me to get my wheelchair in and for me to comfortably transfer, or is there going to be stairs to get into their house? I do have like travel ramps, but at the same time, it's still, I still haven't got over or like gotten used to and accepted that I can no longer go upstairs at my own free will. I have to have help going up the stairs with a ramp, and and there's times that I just feel trapped when we go places. And that makes it really hard as well because there might be something like a barbecue, everybody's outside, and as everybody knows, a lot of people who have MS are not heat tolerant. And, so it's like, well, I can't, I can go outside, but if I get too hot, I have to be able to come back inside and cool down, for X amount of time, so I don't have that, what's the word I'm looking for? Damn, I hate this. I don't have that option, like able people to go in and out, as needed. So
And then for Christy, this is happening so fast. This is happening so fast, and I feel for you because it's happened to me, and this isn't Jennifer time, but I'm just saying it happened quickly. And you're talking about the heat intolerance, and there are cooling vests. Maybe that would be an option for you. And the shower, maybe a shower chair could help you. But it happens so quick, and how do you prepare yourself for that? No, there's no how to become disabled book that you just read, so it's all like I give it like a live and learn kind of thing. But maybe Christy, a cooling vest would help you, and maybe a shower chair, because I understand the anxiety where you're like, oh crap, I don't want to fall in the shower, or I can't wash my head. I can't close my eyes and shampoo my head without, so I and it's just nice to be here to talk with your people, because I think every single one of us is nodding our heads when you bring up anxiety. We understand.
Yeah.
So thank you.
And the good thing is, like, I don't know if you're aware of it, Jennifer or Jen. I applied for a grant for bathroom modification. So it's in the process. Yeah, so it's in the process. They're ordering cabinets, and it's dependent on materials and when they can get it. So I was told the cabinets would take about 2 months. But they're going to be putting a zero barrier shower. They're getting rid of the tub so they can make the shower bigger so I can wheel into it. And they're putting a wall mounted bench. And then I'm going to have my own like valve controls for hot and cold, and my own shower head. So Steve will have his own controls for his, able standing 6'5" shower head. And then there's me, this, I've shrunk down to maybe 4 feet. So I'll have the bench, and then I'll have the shower head that's like on a
wand.
Yes, thank you.
Yeah.
So
you're welcome. But
it's going to be
give
life
yourself
changing.
grace. Yeah, like Carmen saying, give yourself grace. It's going to be life changing. And when you can regain any sense of independence, because I think that's, a huge part of anxiety for me is just when I can't do something for myself. And, people are wonderful that help you, but does anybody do it as well as you do? It's just like, so, yeah.
It's
Christy, there's a thing out there that's called a hip kit. I know it sounds weird, but it comes with 2 grabbies, a device to help you put on pants, a different one for shirts, and then one that will automatically put your socks on your feet.
Nice.
Nice. I'll have to look into that.
And
Called
it's
a
on
hip
Amazon.
kit?
Yeah, hip kit. They're on Amazon, and I don't want to say they're too expensive, but
Oh, trust me, I've spent a lot of money with this, new way
yes,
of life for me, you know.
heard.
So,
Nobody warns you that multiple sclerosis is expensive, right along with disabling. It's not a cheap disease to get.
no, no.
Hmm.
Purchasing the stair lift alone was almost 18 grand. So, that, and then, just all the uh, like tools I've had to buy to help me um, get function for the day. Like I've had to buy actually my friend bought them for me, but it's something they're like handles on the sides of the toilet so that I can have that for support to sit down and even stand up. It's just everything is expensive. So I'm like,
Ah.
and there's like my Amazon shopping cart always has like stuff in it. And Steve's like, "Are we really buying this?" And I'm like, "I don't know. It's just stuff that I looked at to help possibly in the future."
And
He's,
and speaking of Amazon, the hip kit that John talked about was $31.
oh, that's
So
not
no, no, yeah.
Let's have
bad.
Amanda share her thing because she is on
Oh yeah, yeah.
Eastern time and she probably
Oh.
has to work early tomorrow
Mhm.
morning.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm getting sleepy, but I put the link in there. I was just about to write this down since John just mentioned it. I'll write a note to myself. But if you guys know me, every time I'm in a group, I'm always like researching things and Googling everything and following up with it. So I decided to turn that into like a Google Doc because I tend to forget things and I want to remember what we talk about. So, is it not giving me permission anymore? Well, I don't think it's letting me share again. I still can't figure that out. Anyways, um, we have a Google Doc. I can just talk you through it, but I'm trying to just collect information basically as we go. But I have we've talked about different books and blogs and like the MS gym and different support systems. So like a lot of MS Society items are on there. Like people have had questions about medications. What medications should I take? How to fundraise, those things. And then I started a tab with like providers since I know a lot of people have not had good interactions with providers. So if you have a good neurologist or a good therapist that you like, I figured we could start like sharing that information with people. Those kinds of things. I know we don't want to endorse certain people, but it's hard. There's another tab that's like for symptom management. So cooling vests are on there. And then I've been finding like information. I'm looking into a cooling vest right now, and there's a cooling vest program that is financial. It has financial restrictions on it, but if you qualify,
You're muted, Amanda. There you go.
can you guys hear me?
Yeah.
Okay,
Nice.
Yeah.
that was weird. Was I on mute this whole time?
No,
No,
just
just that
right,
Oh,
like
split second.
you just touched it.
okay.
Now you're on
You're
mute.
on mute again.
Yeah, I don't know. Somehow it's a
Now you're good.
ghost. It's telling me to go to bed. Okay, I'm not going to touch anything. But I'm looking for a cooling vest now. So there's a grant program through one of the MS societies where you can get awarded or get it covered. And then my occupational therapist also sent me I think Rick might have posted it or somebody posted it previously, but all these coupon codes for cooling vests and things through the National MS Society. So just things that I've been finding and things we talk about. So I've just been adding them to this. So if you guys need it, feel free to share it. You can use it. And then I think Tim logged off already, but
Hmm.
I know he does podcasts, so I also started a tab for like MS businesses and things that we can support each other. So I have like a crochet business, so I selfishly put that in there. But I wanted to get Tim's podcast because I know he has like 1 million of them, and I just wanted to support him and see what he's talking about. So I just thought it was something cool that we could have, and we talk about all these good things in group, and then I always forget what we talk about. So I've been writing it down. So
Well, I
pass
think
it along.
That's awesome.
yeah, I looked at it. It's pretty amazing, Amanda. Thank you.
Yeah, and feel free to add stuff. I know there were certain grants, and Christy, I was going to ask you, I think Karen too had talked about some grants she had looked at that I'm still doing research on that. But if you have information on that, I'll put my email in here, and I'll probably put it on the Google Doc too. But just send it to me, and then I'll add it.
Okay.
So I don't know if the Ember Wave is going to work for you for MS, but I can tell you it works real well for the guys who have no testosterone, and it has worked for a lot of women too. It's a wrist gadget that you wear, and you can we get a $50 discount. So I put the discount code in the I should put the website to get to it in. I'll put the website to get to it in there. Maybe Amanda will get to the website before I do.
Yeah, it's on my list already. I'm gonna put the coupon code in here.
What is it?
So it's a gizmo that you wear on your wrist, and it somehow or other is able to regulate the mechanism that regulates your body temperature. So if you're too hot or you're too cold, do you have one?
I do.
Kim has it on.
Kim, do you have one?
I do.
Yeah, she's wearing it.
She's wearing it. She's modeling it for us.
Kim, how's it working?
Well, it can be helpful. Sometimes it doesn't feel like it does much. The reviews are kind of hit or miss if it works. Mine quit working after like a couple weeks, so it took them a week to like get back to me. They like sent me a survey and like, so how's it? You know, how's your service? And I said, still broken, not good, still broken or something. So it took them a week to be like, oh, okay, we're gonna send you out a replacement. So then they shipped it out, but the second one I haven't had a problems where it just had an error and stopped working.
That's the second time I've heard this today. There was a guy on our prostate cancer who said they had a problem with the Ember Wave 2, and he shipped it back, and they sent him a second one. So they must have had some issues with the first line of the second generation. But our guys love them.
So it does help. Sometimes I feel like it's really helpful. Other times it doesn't feel like it helps enough. But it is expensive. It's like $300, so it's not like something you can just randomly, it's like $20 or something. You have to have an investment. But it has been help. Like if I wake up in the middle of the night, or I'm working out with my trainer, or I'm outside, so it is nice to have. But like I said, it's not. But if you have it, they have an app on your phone that you can actually customize it and make it even colder or hotter, which I haven't played with that much. But
Kim, so you feel by and large, I mean, I'm just curious because I just know the feedback from our prostate cancer guys by and large. So you feel that it can help you. You have an overnight setting on it, right? The overnight setting is different from the regular setting.
Well, they have different settings on the app that you can do. Like right now, I just have the default settings, but you can set it up different ways. But sometimes things are flaky. Like when I first got it, my old one, I was supposed to update the software or whatever, and it would not connect. It would not connect. And this one, I haven't had a problem yet, knock on wood. But
so
does it actually feel a different temperature?
Yeah. So on the back, hold on. So on the back here, where that little, that's where the cold or the heat, depending on which one you choose.
Oh, okay.
Will come through. But sometimes you'll feel like that it's cold, but then the other part of it's getting hot from it making the cold, if that makes any sense to you, kind of like a refrigerator
Yeah.
works. Let me see. Let me get to the app here.
Let me know if you're having issues, because we have an inside track and they listen to us, so we can feed this stuff back to them.
Well, it's okay now with my second one,
Okay.
but my first one
Yeah,
didn't.
I think that was a problem they must have had with that batch that they manufactured, because it sounds like you're
It's
not
like all
getting it.
technology today. You know, you either get one that's awesome or you get one that's a lemon. You know, it's kind of
Yeah.
like quality control is kind of like all over the board. So
Right. But please, if you decide to get one, use that AnCan 50 discount code and you'll get $50 off. And spread that around. That's just fine. It's really I mean, we promote it because our guys like it, but we don't have the experience yet in some of the other communities. Say women with menopause or the MS group or what have you. How does it compare in price to a cooling vest? Because I've got no idea what cooling vests cost.
a cooling vest is going. I'd have to look up what I paid
So
for
like
mine.
the Thermapara ones are like $250 to $300 depending.
Yeah, but I would
which ones
say
you get.
if you had a choice between this and the cooling vest, I would totally go with the cooling vest first because it is more effective. It works better.
Okay. But then you have to wear, I mean, can you wear a cooling vest at night through the night or not? Or is
Well,
it
you
uncomfortable?
could, but if you have an extended pack, it's only going to last like maybe 3 hours, depending how cold the
Right.
room is.
Right.
It won't last throughout the night, and it's going to feel weird and kind of bulky because the front part's a little weird around your skin because of the Velcro, I find anyway. So no. So when you wake up in the middle of the night and you're having like hot flashes or something, then like this is nice. And you're not wearing a
And I
bulky thing
will
to bed.
say that with our guys, that they do respond differently. So some guys think they're fantastic, other guys they work less. So I'm sure it's going to be in the same in the MS community. But some people will do really well with it, and other people will do less well with it. Because everybody's different, right?
Everybody's different, and I can see Amanda and we're Eastern Standard, and we're fading. No, Amanda, welcome. Sorry, but before we close up the meeting tonight, I want to remind us that the next group will be July 12th. So July 12th, because yeah, we always go the wrong week. And Rick, thank you for pointing out that code for the cool thing that Kim demonstrated. But yeah, I think I'm fading fast, so I'm gonna go. So good night. It was nice to see you all, and look forward to seeing you.
And
You guys in July.
Good night. Be well. Thank you. Say hi to Dan, please.
Absolutely.
Just one other promo. I put it in earlier, but we have a webinar tomorrow night, which may be interesting to you. I just put it in again. I put it in earlier. It's on genetics and genomics. It is cancer focused, but it may well be interesting to you guys too. So you're very welcome to join. It's free, but you will need to register. Starts at 8 o'clock Eastern. So if you're interested in finding out about inherited mutations and mutations you make yourself, tune in.
Can I just ask a quick question before you sign off, Jen? Like, is there any way to reach anyone from the group? Like, I had to wait till this meeting to, like, I just was so desperate to just talk to anyone. Do you guys have any kind of a communication or a email group or anything?
That's I know Amanda gave her email address in the chat tonight. I don't know if you've seen like the chats going around. But if I don't type. It's not that I don't want to conversate with y'all. It's just I got fingers for poop.
Right.
But I think if there's anybody that you want to reach out to, you can reach out to Rick at rd@ancan.org. And I mean, Carmen, if you ever want to connect with me, jmdigman@gmail.com,
Okay.
or any of us, I'm sure you can connect. So
Okay, thanks.
really nice to talk with you all. Good
Bye.
to see you.
Carmen,
Good
bye.
night.
Carmen, if you reach out to me, I'm happy to connect you to anybody in the group.
Wow.
Okay,
So,
one sec. I'm just going to take your email here. Hang on.
right, and I'd be happy to connect you to anyone in the group. You know, most of the people I know, if I'm not sure if somebody is willing, then I will write them first.
Okay, go ahead.
But it's rd@ancan.org.
Oh, okay, that's easy.
And
Thanks.
some of our moderators have an AnCan address, not all of them. We've got to work on that. You know, we can provide all our moderators with AnCan addresses if they want them. It's not a big
That's
deal.
great. Thank you.
But if you reach out to me, then I'll be sure to connect you.
Okay.
And we'll go from there. And are you in our database, Carmen? Are you getting reminders each month?
I am getting an email.
Does it say an email before each meeting telling you that there's a meeting coming up?
Yeah, like a couple days, like it was a couple days ago.
Right.
Yep.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So that means you're in
Yeah.
the database. So that's
Okay.
fine.
Good. Well, thanks everyone. I have to run too, but it's been a pleasure
Okay.
seeing you all again. Bye.
Good night.
July 12th. Bye.
Good night. Good night. All right, Kim. We can talk for a minute if you're not going to go to sleep as well.
I'm
You
tired, but I'm always wired afterwards.
look at that.
I'm
Now
still
we got
trying to
pressure.
figure out how to calm down. I tried journaling after one of these sessions, and my hand was too. I was like too. I don't have ADHD, but after, you know, sometimes you get a little wired. It's just hard to. So I think maybe in the future I'm gonna have to do like movement, like yoga or qigong or something. You know what I mean? Tai chi, stretching, those kind of things.
Okay. Okay. And I gotta say, turquoise and fuchsia, man, you are cool. Woo!
I'm back in the 80s and 90s. I'm loving it.
Oh yeah.
Loving
Oh
it.
yeah. The Olympics. 84 Olympics. There you go. All right. Good night, everybody.
Good night.
Good night, Rick.
Okay, bye. Good night.
Good night. Good night. Good night, Amina. Good to see you.
Good night. Thank you. Good to see you guys too.